Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside, and that is it. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a tech day. Very interesting and kind of appalling at the same time. I was reading an article over on 9to5Mac, and the article was entitled this: Violent clashes between iPhone workers and police over unpaid bonuses, lack of food, poor virus management. And I was reading through this and I was like, wow, this is just, it's unbelievable. And I don't think a lot of people stop and think where the products that they're purchasing are coming from and the effect it has on the populace where they're getting it. I also think that a lot of folks don't mind that we purchase from overseas and just want something that's cheaper. Okay, especially during the times that we're currently in, where money is not easily had, let's say. Food is up, gas is up, rent is up. You can't find housing. When you do, it is overpriced by almost double. You're paying extra. Cars, very much so extra. You can't even buy a car at MSRP very much today. You're paying over MSRP. Whereas years ago, you'd be paying X percentage less than MSRP. It's just horrible, right? Absolutely horrible. I wanted to read you some of this article because I want to get your thoughts on it. I mean, most likely you'll know my thoughts just by my read on it and my commentary at the end. But I want to know, more importantly, your thoughts. What do you think about this? And is there anything that can be done? So anyways, let's jump into this article. Once again, this was from 9to5Mac. It says, violent clash between iPhone workers and police have been seen in video footage from Foxconn primary iPhone assembly plant in China. You can see the video clip below. I'm going to run that video clip probably during my read on this, okay, just so you can see what is going on. Workers say that promised bonuses, or referred in local reports to subsidies, have not been paid, and that there is an inadequate food and medical supplies for workers locked into facility, and that the company is failing to properly separate infected and uninfected employees. So here's the background here. The trouble began when there was a virus outbreak inside of Foxconn's biggest iPhone assembly plant in China, also known as iPhone City. At the time, the company claimed that the situation was under control, though this meant already tough closed-loop production rules were made even tighter. This also included closing canteens and very tight control of where workers were allowed to go within the facility. It wasn't long before workers complained that the infections were continuing to spread within the plant and that there was not enough food and medication. Significant numbers chose to break out of the plant and return to their hometowns. Break out of the plant. Foxconn initially offered bonuses to persuade workers to stay, and then increased them up to tenfold when they didn't work. Infections continued to spread, and the plant was placed on an even more stringent lockdown. Apple took the rare step of warning that iPhone 14 Pro availability would be limited as a result of the disruption, with Foxconn also warning that revenue growth would be reversed. That's nice of them, right? So, video footage below shows clashes between Foxconn workers and people in white suits. While some reports say that the white suit figures are Foxconn security, the majority describe them as police officers. It is known that both Riot police and armed police were sent to the scene. In one clip, these figures can be seen kicking and stomping on someone laying on the ground. In another, a police car is being surrounded by protesters. One clip shows injured people in an ambulance. Other footage shows a lot of pushing and jolting around between workers and police, as well as the use of batons. Some workers are also seen with sticks smashing windows and security cameras. Now, the BBC News reports that, quote, heavy police deployment included large numbers of armed officers. So I guess they got some inside information here. Bloomberg also reports that employees expected to continue to work on the production lines have no faith in their negative test results. In one video, irate workers surround a silent, downcast manager in a conference room to voice grievances and question their virus test results. It wasn't clear when the meeting took place. Quote, "I'm really scared about this place. We could all be virus positive now," a male worker said. Another person said, quote, "You're sending us to death." I can imagine why this manager was kind of downcast, sitting there with his head down, right? He has to take all of this crap. Foxconn said it was working with staff and local government officials to prevent further violence and denies reports of unpaid bonuses, saying that it would fulfill all of its financial obligations to workers. It also denied claims by new recruits that they were being housed in dormitories with existing workers who had tested positive for the virus. So 9 to 5's take on this is basically this, and I'll give you mine. They say, in such chaotic conditions, it can often prove extremely difficult to determine the realities of conflicting claims. Whatever the truth, however, it's clear that many workers have no faith in Foxconn's handling of the outbreak. We would hope that Apple has sent a team to the plant to investigate the events and ensure that proper worker protections are put in place. Yeah. Resolving the situation is made much harder by China's official response to the pandemic. The country has insisted on using its own vaccines, which are far less effective than those available in most countries, and on the virus zero policy, in which even tiny infection rates result in citywide lockdowns. However, carefully managed closed-loop production where workers remain in a facility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for up to a month at a time will always be tough. You think? With similar violent clashes at other factories and in other cities, it is clear that the patience of the population is at a breaking point, and that sooner or later the Chinese government is going to have to rethink its virus response. I would have to agree with that 100%. So the way I look at this is we have a bunch of people that are working in a plant, Foxconn, making iPhones, as they call it, iPhone City, this plant. And they're not happy. They're not getting the money that they want, number one. And number two, they're not feeling safe. And a lot of them are getting sick with whatever. They don't have enough food, not enough medicine. They're working continuously. They can't leave the facility. The canteens are shut down. They are stuck in certain spots, and that's it. They can't move around the plant. They're like in confinement. And then when you hear workers actually breaking out to go back to their hometowns, breaking out, that's just a crazy thing to me, right? Think about that. Could you imagine if you're working at like AT&T in one of their plants making modems or switches or routers or something, and you're just absolutely disgusted with it and you can't just like leave? You have to break out of the AT&T plant? What? I don't know, guys. Like, what's the answer here? I mean, years ago, we used to talk about how Nike shoes and these shoes and those shoes, they're made by little kids, 5 years old, 6 years old, stuck in these sweatshops. And then people were all just appalled by it and they stopped buying those shoes. Is that going to happen? Are you going to see that people stop buying these? I just don't think so. But if for some reason we were to stop buying these and ask or force indirectly that Apple actually produces this locally in the United States, what would happen to the price? A lot of you guys will say, oh, instead of the price being $1,000 for this or $1,200 or some godforsaken $1,300 now for this, it's ridiculous, but whatever. It'll be double. It'll be like $2,600 for this. Well, kind of, sort of, no. And the reason being is there's a finite price or a finite value that anything has. And that value is determined by us. How much the purchaser is willing to pay. Not a penny more, That's how much the product is worth. Not what Apple thinks that this is worth. No. How much they have to pay to have this built. No. If they built it in a plant here in the United States, instead of, let's say, this cost $50 to make in Foxconn, let's just say, and it costs $250 to make here locally, well, they're going to make less profit. And they're probably not going to be able to go up double either, even though they're paying literally, 4 times as much to produce it. They might be able to maybe raise their price 25%. Maybe not at all. Once again, it depends on how much anyone is willing to spend on it. Once again, there is a finite price. Even at $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 for this, I just won't buy them. That's just me. I think it's ludicrous. So what do you think can happen here? Number one, do you think that this is authentic? Do you think that this is going on? Do you think that Foxconn really has these people kind of stuck in one location 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 30 plus days at a time? Do you believe that people are having to break out of these plants? I do. I really do. So what do you think can be done? Number one, obviously, do you think that this is accurate? I personally think that it is. What do you think can be done about this? I gave you some of my thoughts. I want to hear what you think. Is this something that can be fixed, or is it just not fixable and we just have to deal with it? The same thing with these shoes, where we find out that there is kids in Vietnam making these shoes in these sweatshops for 12, 15 hours a day, under 10 years old. It's just sad. I think it's really sad how corporations, not all, but a lot of the big corporations could give a crap about the worker. They just really don't care. It's all about the bottom line, and that is it. Do you think that it really would matter if Apple made a little bit less on these things, and instead of making billions and billions, they make maybe half of that? Does it really matter? They make so much damn money as it is. It's close to, $1 trillion company soon. Maybe it is already. Who knows? It's a lot, right? Anyways, guys, what do you think? I thought it was an interesting article I wanted to share with you before the holidays. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I want to wish from me to you a happy Thanksgiving. Many blessings to you and your family. I hope you enjoy your holiday. I hope you enjoy your family and sit back and relax and eat and drink and be merry and take that day to just have time with the family. A lot of us today are working, trying to make ends meet and not stopping for a minute and enjoying the fruit of our labor, because we have to continuously labor to be able to pay the bills. But taking that one day to do so, I think possibly it'll rejuvenate you as well as your family and maybe give you a better outlook as far as how this end of the year will come. We know that the market has been down and a lot of things have been in the crapper, but hopefully 2023 will see better times. So anyways, everyone, if you enjoyed this video, even in the least, please consider throwing it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click this little button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, go check them out. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. Finally, if you made it to the end of this video, if you go over to my website and purchase anything today and tomorrow, you'll get 20% off. Use promo code YT20 at checkout and you will get 20% off everything. Doesn't matter what it is, everything and anything. YT20 at checkout. I'm not going to write it down in the comment area. I'm not going to write it anywhere. If you made it to the end, that's my gift to you. Once again, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in the next video. Love you all.